Welcome, everyone. A very good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cynthia Paul, a business lecturer here at Asia Pacific University and one of the proud advisor of the Sustainable Future Fusion SFF Club. Seeing such a vibrant and engaged audience online with us today is a wonderful as we continue our journey towards promoting sustainability and environmental awareness. At SFF, our mission goes beyond words. It's about action. We're deeply committed to aligning with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, to educate, inspire, and empower our community in building a future that's not just sustainable, but also equitable and inclusive. So what's today's focus? We're shining the spotlight on SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, with a meaningful connection to SDG 5, gender equality. It's the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, and we are exploring how sustainable development intertwines with gender equality, aiming to foster a future where women can thrive in safety, dignity, and opportunity. I'm wearing the color orange today, and it symbolizes solidarity in the fight against violence and human trafficking. Big news, Sustainable Future Fusion is officially going digital and has gone digital. We couldn't be more excited. A huge shout out to the amazing marketing team from APU for making this leap possible. Their hard work has brought this vision to life. Now, for the highlight today, our featured talk, get ready to dive into an inspiring and empowering season titled Empowering Triumphs, Women Rising Beyond Boundaries. This session is all about celebrating resilience, breaking barriers, and building a future where women lead with strength and confidence. And to guide us on this journey, we're honored to introduce our special guest, Ms. Nageen Riffat, fondly known as NIN, a remarkable leadership consultant, celebrated author, and a motivational speaker with over years of decade experience empowering women across the globe. Nageen's work has transformed countless lives. Her passion and dedication in women's leadership truly is inspirational, and we are thrilled to have her here with us today. Let's give Ms. Nageen a warm virtual welcome as we embark on her eye-opening session together. Let's bring Ms. Nageen here. Thank you, Ms. Nageen. How are you?
Thank you. Hello. You look beautiful. I tried to wear orange.
Well, it's close to an orange, but yeah. Since it's November. Yes, sorry?
Yeah, it's close to orange, not exactly orange because I avoid wearing such dark and bright colors, but I really wanted to be part of this whole thing, like genuinely. So I tried to pull something similar to orange.
It's okay, as long as you are wearing part of orange color. But thank you for coming on board. I mean, it's really very interesting. When I actually read your biodata, it really struck me a lot, and I think you're the best person to speak on this topic today. Do you want to share something that will motivate us before you embark in your very nice presentation?
Yes, thank you so much. I am so honored to be here, Cynthia, and the engaging audience. And you shared some of the questions, and I realized that how much involved everybody is, and looking forward for this conversation. The interesting part is that I am in US, and it's 11 p.m. my time.
Wow. Okay.
So, but when I was invited, I made sure that I say yes because that's my passion. And if people can listen and I could make a difference or create an impact that could, positively create some momentum in what we all are doing or aiming to do in future, I said yes. So, let's get into it.
Okay. So let us. We'd like to get you to start off with your very nice presentation, and looking forward to a lot of insights to whatever you're going to be mentioning to us. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you. So, I am so honored to be with all of you here. And my presentations are always very bright. And the color purple is because when we go along the presentation, you will realize why the purple is there. And I will share the story for this purple thing. So, Beyond Boundaries is the topic that we are discussing today, and how women can do things out of the normal professions. And I am a living example of that. We definitely get along with some difficulties, challenges, but as we move on, as we step forward, we will see people coming and supporting us, and then we find our way. So let me go ahead with the presentation, move on to the next slide. And so this is a picture of mine, and taken by my best friend, and just wanted to let you guys know. So as the slide itself says, that I'm a leadership consultant, I'm author and speaker as well. I speak on women empowerment, and main focus is on women economic empowerment. And as we go along, you will realize that why I emphasize on the economic empowerment of women, how that brings confidence, how that helps women to take decisions even in the difficult times, or if even if they are challenged with things coming either from their culture or from anything that you can think of as a woman. Here, I would like to introduce you all with my two sons. The one on the left with the black t shirt, he's my elder son, Shahir. He is 24 now. And on the right side, the one wearing blue hoodie is my younger son. He's 16. Shahir is doing his HR and legal. He'll be graduating this year and works at Amazon in HR and legal department. Whereas my younger son, he's in grade 10. His name is Shayal. And Shayal is a Persian name which means victorious. And Shahir is an Arabic name which means famous for goodness. So I am very particular about names. So I really, really had spent a lot of time when I was conceiving them. And I was like, spend a lot of time in finding the right names for my boys. So here they are. Shayal plays soccer. He loves it, and he is the captain of his high school team. So, my kids are the center, the focus of everything that I do. And as we go along, you will realize that they have been my strong inspiration and motivation to do things that I am doing these days or have been doing for the last many, many years. This is a very special slide for me. If you can see, on the left side is a picture from my hospital. In 2016, I had gone through a cardiac surgery. And so I got a pacemaker, and I was like very critical at that time. Shahir and Shal, as you can see, they were very young, and you can see all of these drips and needles on my body, and I'm like in hospital. But you can see the smiles and the motivation that these boys are giving, creating the vibes for me to heal faster. And as I have highlighted, is that your why lifts you from ashes to legacy. So it was only because I knew that as a single mom, I am responsible for raising them. I'm responsible for giving the best life to them. So for me, I have to do best. I have to recover. So that was my why, that I really wanted my boys to shine and not be left alone. So I went out from the hospital. I recovered, and you can see some pictures which shows Shahir at his college getting some kind of achievement awards, and then it's his graduation picture. Shayal in his classroom, Shayal's graduation picture of his elementary school, and there is my book, which we will discuss later. And on the right side, you can see all the organizations that I have been invited to speak, which includes Houston Professional Women, which is based in the US. Sherry Blair Foundation is a UK organization, and they work for the women economic empowerment, and I am their consultant. Then IRIS is Integrated Refugee and Immigration Services, which is in US again. So I work with refugee women to help them get better education, or they're coming from different parts of the world, the refugee women. So we work as a team at IRIS, and I'm their consultant there, to teach women how to get back in life, how to adopt the new culture. The US, that most of the people are coming from African countries, or they are coming from maybe Arab countries or war zone areas. So they are literally shattered emotionally, financially, and definitely settling in a new environment where they don't have their own people, own culture becomes difficult. So here we work with both women and children. So we run a program called Mommy and Me, where we work with the mothers and the children to make sure that they get back to life as soon as possible in their new country. The RW sign is Remarkable Woman. It's based out of Australia. And then I have like all these news channels that you can see, that I have spoken to radio stations where I'm invited as guest or as an expert on women empowerment and domestic violence, human trafficking. I speak on all those topics. But my major focus is always, always, always on telling women that they can do everything. If I can do, they can also do. Everybody can. So this is a little glimpse of how involved I am at international level with women economic empowerment. This is my company. As you can read on the slide, Nin's Dreams. So the name itself says that it is my dream for every woman to succeed, whether she is a housewife, whether she's a student, whether she is a leader in corporate or a politician, or anything that a woman want to do, she can achieve regardless of the circumstances. So it's like the company Nin's Dream is dedicated to bringing the dreams of women life so they can achieve what they want. It's as it reads on the slide, is dedicated to uplifting women in the modern age. We offer tailored programs for women, both at corporate level, personal level, where I work with them on emotional intelligence. Why I have chosen emotional intelligence as the main focus for leadership, for becoming a better leader. And when I say women as leaders, it's not that you have to be a politician to become a leader. It's not that you have to be a vice president of a corporate organization. It's not that. Women are leaders in their own way, whether they are raising kids at home, they are teaching, they are as learning as students, they are leaders. And leaders means they lead the way, they help others to achieve their dreams. That can be their siblings, their kids, their brothers, their sisters. So the women overall are born with this inner ability to lead. The problem is that the world has seen women, or they see women as a soul, or as humans who have less or limited control on their emotions. That is something that everybody talks about women, like for women leaders, and that has been my challenge. I'll be discussing with you all as we go along, that women are seen that either they are very empathetic, very loving, very caring, or if they go at a senior level, they become rough, they become rude. So I chose emotional intelligence as the main target, as the main tool for women to achieve their dreams, where they can actually identify their strengths, they can identify what are their weaknesses, and then they work on that and let the world know that it's not like, if she's taking a decision, it's not emotional, it's based on facts. And that's where the emotional intelligence part comes in. And my most famous signature program is EQ Mastery, which is Emotional Quotient Mastery. So it's a 4-week program, and you can get all the links and details on my website for everything if you're interested to learn more about that. Moving on to my book. So, yes, as Cynthia introduced, that I'm a published author and my book is available on Amazon. The name itself, HerRhythm, You Are More Than Your Survival Story. So, I will give you a little. So, I have always been very fond of writing. My way of expressing, whether in when I was a child, I was my dad's little princess, but I used to write a lot. I used to write letters to him, and he used to travel a lot because he was a textile engineer. He was traveling all around the world, and I would write letters and just put it in his suitcase that he could read. And those were the days. Now we have like advanced social media, but I'm talking about 80s and 90s. So you guys have no idea about that, I'm sure. But those were the days when we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have so much of internet, and letter writing and writing with hand was like the thing. So my interest in writing is from childhood. It's not that something that I developed later. But yes, things that happened in my life started motivating me to write more and gave me a direction. So, Her Rhythm, You're More Than Your Survival Story is the background is that I had a very difficult divorce back in my home country, which is Pakistan, and so I came to US with my 2 boys. It was a new place for me to settle, adjust to the new culture, and then also for my boys because they were still in school. And so the whole journey taught me a lot, many lessons, how people changed during those times, my difficult times. What there were people who really went out of their way to help me, and in the entire process, I learned many things. So, in this book, which is Her Rhythm, You're More Than Your Survival Story, is highlights all the lessons that I learned during the way. That how important is your self-respect, how important it is to fight for something that you feel is right or is important to you, how to deal with fear, because yes, I had fears, and I am a human being like all of you. Today, I am honored to be seen as an expert, to be seen as a powerful woman. But I have my own fears even today. And there is nothing wrong in it, in having fear. But living in fear is what we should avoid. We should start trusting ourselves, believing ourselves. And that's where my book like focuses. The entire chapter is like how to deal with fear, how to take, like, accept it first, Don't run away from it. Accept it that yes, this is something that bothers you, that is you're afraid of. But then what next? How to overcome it? That's where your emotional intelligence piece also kicks in. And you have to grow beyond your fear. Living in integrity is that as a woman, many a times, especially as a woman of color in this part of the world, for me to rise and reach the position that I am in, I had to overcome a lot of challenges. And those challenges were of different level. People doubting my intelligence or my expertise just because of my color or my origin, or people not taking me seriously as a leadership consultant because I'm a woman. And as I told you earlier, that the world sees women as more emotional human beings. So, so living in integrity is like where I stood and made sure that people know my boundaries, what I can do, and what I would accept and what I would not accept. Walking in forgiveness is something where I talk about that yes, as human being, you get hurt for sure. There are many a times it can be from your parents, from your partners, from your at times from your teachers. You think that you have submitted a very beautiful assignment, and it's not what the teacher wanted, and you weren't expecting that. Or maybe your parents have mistreated you. That's how you felt it at that point, when although parents don't do that, but at some point we feel that as teenagers. I have been through that phase where my mom used to tell me things and I would say, wow, what is this? Why is she stopping me? Why she's telling me all these things? I don't want to do this, or I am old enough. And at that point, I would think that I'm sidelined or she's not taking me seriously. I felt hurt. So as time grows, as you grow, even in your professional journey, even at your office, even at your, even as a mother, as a sister, I have felt those hurts. But walking in forgiveness is that part of my book which tells us that yes, at times it is not even possible to forgive, but moving on is definitely your choice. The first thing is that you should learn to forgive people. But if at some point you're finding it difficult, don't make things more difficult for yourself. Just step ahead, move on, and then you will see that that part which hurted you so much is somewhere behind and you have walked a long way ahead. And the book has all these kinds of lessons, but it also tells a story of my divorce, my kids, and has like little lighter moments as well, and some pages that will bring tears to your eyes. The book is, by the way, dedicated to my father because, as I said earlier, I'm my father's little princess, always will be. Uh, Now, coming to the slide, which tells about HerRhythm Road to Resilience. This is a nonprofit that I have started recently. Like when I say recently, it's about 3 years ago in US, and it is completely committed to women and economic empowerment. We offer grants. So I come from, as I said, I'm like my origin is from Pakistan. So we call mother in our language, we call Ammi, which is AMMI. So HerRhythm offers Ammi grants, which is dedicated to motherhood. So, but it's not like those grants are given only to mothers. It's just like to acknowledge or to give tribute to motherhood. That is why I named as it as Emmy grants. So we give grants to women who either want to take education, or they want to start their own business, or they already have a business but they need some help in marketing and scaling their business. So that's where Emmy grants kicks in. And then we have under HerRhythm, we do food bank for working women, for working mothers, and even kids, to help them move forward. Then we have, so HerRhythm, it works with women all along the way. Right now we are so we have on women empowerment. Okay, I am looking at your questions, but I'm going along the way with the slides as well. So coming to the question where we asked about the role of social media, yes, I will come to that point. Let me first go through these, like how to break these stereotypes, which is like the challenges that I've faced, overcoming biases as a woman of color. So, as I said, that even like entering the field of leadership consulting was not an easy job for me, and it took a little harder. That the journey was a little harder, but definitely I overcome that part. And connecting it to the question that came in, that how social media helps women empowerment. See, we, the questions later. Okay. Thank you, Cynthia. So, so in the leadership part where I'm talking about the biases as a woman of color, and we all face that. First of all, the women face the problems or the challenges for being a woman because they are not seen like as powerful as men. Let's accept that. But then it's not that we have to fight to prove ourselves, or we question that why are we being seen this way. My idea or my psychology or the reason of my success has been that I am not going to question what others think about my gender or what they think about the color of my skin. I have to appear or do my best and let people know that the work that I do has nothing to do of me being a woman or woman of color or from another country or from another region. No, I am working. The work that I do is needed across the globe. Women need people like us. I need people like all of you. And that's where emotional intelligence also kicks in, that you don't take anything personal. You develop yourself and you prove and you do your work. You do you. The rest of the world will fall into place. Everything will fall into place. Emotional intelligence have always been a key focus for me, and the reason is that it teaches you resilience, it teaches you patience, it teaches you how to see other people and what are they trying to say, what is actually happening in their minds and their lives that they are reacting the way they are reacting. And then instead of questioning them, you start tuning yourselves or taming yourselves to do a better thing so that those people can work with you along with you on your journey. Here I have put the leadership lesson, and I want all of you to kind of review it with me. That true leadership isn't about, as I said, isn't about proving yourself to others. It's about staying authentic and leading by example. That's exactly what I told you people just now. That's the leadership lesson that I want you all to take from this. One thing that you would want to take from this time with me is that it's not about proving yourself. It's about staying authentic. You must believe in your why. You must believe in what you're doing. And then, keep improving your craft. Keep adding. Even today, I take workshops. Like I spend money on my growth, on taking lectures, on taking advices, or have a mentor in my life, that these are so important things. So, as I'm saying, that please focus on improvising and shining your craft. Rest, everything will fall into place. If you stop at every point to prove yourself, you will not move ahead. So I'll give you an example. I'm not sure how many of you watch National Geographic, but the National Geographic channel, if you see, there are like they show you a lion chasing a deer, right? And we all know that lions hunt deer. But have you noticed one thing? That lion is not as fast runner as the deer, but still the deer gets hunted, becomes the food for the lion. Why? Because if you watch the whole thing where the lion is hunting the deer, you will see that the lion's focus is on the target, on deer, right? he he doesn't, lion or lioness, he or she doesn't stop. They are focused, they are running for that deer to hunt. They know why they want to do it. Whereas the deer, it runs, but then it stops. It looks back behind, that how far is the lion. The moment you stop from moving ahead and you look behind to see how many people are coming with me or are after me, that's where the world takes over you. That's where the lion gets the chance to hunt the deer, the moment it stops. So we can learn from all these things that we see daily, maybe on TV, or we listen or we hear, and then you will, if you try to put things together, you will understand that why I'm focusing so much on your own craft. Focus on your own craft and you will succeed. And I am giving you all the examples here of what I have achieved. My company, Nin's Dreams, wouldn't have been possible if I would have stopped and listened to everybody who would say that, you won't be successful. I wouldn't have written the book if I would have stopped listening to people that why are you sharing your personal story to the world? I would have never done that. I would have never started HerRhythm, the nonprofit, if I would have stopped just listening to people that, there are so many nonprofits, you don't have to do the work that you want to do or you are doing right now. Again, so this the actionable steps for empowerment that I want you to focus on is find your voice, own your story, and let it shape your leadership. This is very important. What I mean by this whole point, find your voice, is every person is different. You are different in your own way. So here, emotional intelligence, take your personality assessment, see what are your strengths, see what are your weaknesses, and then move ahead. Own your story. If you have a story to tell to the world about yourself, about how you have overcome or what you want to do, own it. Be authentic. Don't change for others. Build a network, surround yourself with allies who uplift you. So, here, the whole presentation is not about anti men or pro women. This whole presentation is about creating the symphony, the connection between every human being. If we feel as women that we are going through some kind of tough times, yes, I cannot deny that. But at the same time, if we stand and speak for ourselves and try to find ways to do that, we will succeed. But when I say build a network, it is about everybody. If what we do is that if we do something and if something goes wrong, we pay attention to the people who are speaking against us. And we completely forget the people who are clapping for us, who are praying for us. or we completely forget to reach out to the people who would help us. If I'm here, I didn't come all the way on my own. There were men, my bosses, everyone, there were people. I would reach out right to them. I would get rejected, I would get approved, I would get accepted. It was all part of the journey. But then I started building a network where today I know where to go, whom to talk to get what I want for my work, which I believe so strongly in. Next is take action. Every small step matters in breaking barriers. Yes, trust me, it does. I'll tell you a little story from my college. I had, I wanted to go to women in jail to write a thesis on them. And my professor said, no, you can't because you're a woman. Why would you go to a jail and write a thesis on the lives of women in jail in Pakistan? I really wanted to do it. So I went to my dad and I asked him that, can you arrange this for me? Because I really want to do it. Although my thesis is different, but now I really want to learn why he is stopping me to see that part of society. My dad arranged everything for me. I went there for a week, took interviews, spoke to the officials, and I built a whole thesis and I read it at the end of my graduation and I got applauded for that. That little, even if I wouldn't have got applauded for that, even if I wasn't given any marks on that because that was not my original thesis, but I really wanted to read in the class because something that I wanted people to see because I had discovered something and I believed in it. So that was a very small step towards letting people know, making them aware of things that were beyond their imagination. So if I that small step gave me the inspiration that okay, let me there is something where women needs me, maybe my words, my voice, my writing, and I want to help them. So any little step that you take towards your growth, towards what you believe in, that's very important. Celebrate it. Learn to celebrate it, please. So here you can see I have these. I go to colleges. I do my workshops. So these are just few pictures of me speaking at different events. The one that we are all with all the women wearing pink is about a stage play that we did, and I had written that play. I was part of that play. So that's the picture. It's very, important, and it still holds a very special place in my heart, although it's like 4 years old. Then there are my workshop pictures, and then I go to high schools and colleges where I uh, share my story. I deliver lectures on women empowerment, economic empowerment to be more precise. And there are young girls and even boys, as you can see in one of the pictures. They work with me and they want to be allies. They want to support us. They want to be part of our journey. They want to bring the change. So that's what I say, that inspiring the next wave, because what I see is that days are gone when the woman had to prove herself on her own. Now we have allies in as our fathers, as our teachers, they as our friends, they support us. So we need to look around that. So this whole presentation was just to give you a little sneak peek into my journey, my work, and I thank you for everything, to give me time to speak and share my experiences. And I think we can now move on to the question answers. And I would love to answer whatever you have to ask me. And I'll try my best to be very authentic and real and honest with my answers. So over to you, Cynthia, if you can share their questions and how do you want to take it forward?
Wow, that's wonderful. Really, a big round of applause to our amazing speaker. I mean, I really inspired. Some of the key points that I actually took out was face your fear. I also think you said something about networking, which is, I think it's very important. In the era we are in today's world, I think as students, as adults, we actually have to network. And network is very important. And when I say network, it's not just a networking with people around you, but also people externally. Like
Yes.
how I networked with you, Miss Nageen. We networked very well. Living with integrity, I love that part. A lot of us, integrity, we say we are practicing integrity, but we need to live with it and to show. And leadership is another factor, and leadership comes in different levels. A lot of leaders we have today are leaders at the pedestal, but we have leaders that are currently, they don't walk the talk. And I believe that we actually have to walk the talk. So thank you so much. Very inspiring session. A heartfelt thank you to such a wonderful and incredible speaker. I mean, I'm very touched and very moved for sharing all your empowering insights and stories. And the pictures really played lots of beautiful memories. And it basically looked into finding ourselves as well. Your passion for helping women rise beyond boundaries is nothing short of remarkable, and we are so grateful to have you here today. So let's keep the energy flowing. Time for questions. Of course, I shared some questions over just now. Reason is because I was trying to, get the flow in. Remember, this session is all about empowering triumphs, women rising beyond boundaries. Let's dig deeper. Think of questions that could unlock even more wisdom. So let's look into some of the questions. I have one question that I've set out on my own. What's one small daily habit that can lead to a big triumph? Um, so does that, what
So,
is one?
so the first thing is that the small habit is that don't underestimate yourself. Don't look into the mirror and say, oh, I have a big nose, small eyes,
Uh,
like that kind of stuff. Y- r-
mhm.
I really want all of us, and that's a habit that I have carried on all my life, is like one small habit is never underestimate yourself. Think that if God created you, there is a reason and He cannot go wrong. So you are beautiful in your own way, you are intelligent in your own way, and make sure that every single day you are thankful, you are loving the person with whom you're going to spend your whole life, and that person is you yourself.
Wow, that's nice. That's really nice. Something that we actually have to look at. Loving yourself,
Yes.
yeah?
Yes, loving yourself, that's the most important thing. Self love is the basis of everything. So make sure that every day you wake up and you love yourself the way you would love your mother, your father, your kids, your partner. Just love yourself that way. And then you will see how things will start changing.
That's great. That's really great. Yeah, I was actually doing some practice in class on what do you call it, on Valentine's Day, and one of the biggest thing that we were talking about is with the students is when we were talking about Valentine's Day. Many of the students were talking about love, love among their own group, like boy girl relationship and all that. And they don't really realize that love actually comes in many forms, loving our
Yes.
parents, our grandparents. mother and parents and children. So I had to actually instill this in them, and it was a bit of a challenge for me because I had to tell them that Valentine's is not only about loving. Loving somebody that you want to share your life with, but it's also other factors as well. Thank you so much. And okay, so let's start with the first question. Kong Tat basically asked this question: what inspired you to begin your journey towards empowerment, and how did you overcome the initial challenge? I think you have.
I'm sure, Kong, that you must have got the reply by now, like to my representation and everything. But if you want, the answer, the exact answer to your question is that, as I said, that I was always, my inspiration had always been my dad, then my kids. And they always inspired me. They made me feel that I am the only person who can make changes in this world. And as I believed in them, I started believing myself. And I have seen the ugly, the dark side of the world in many ways as the work that I do. I've been to corporations where, or even at my college level, my university level, and then when I started my own journey at workplace, I have seen that people were pushed, like we were pushed back, the women were pushed back, and even the men, for not showing up, or the managers would just push them away because the managers didn't exactly know what the problem is with them. They would not sit and talk. And that's where I started focusing on leadership development, that we need to understand the people whom we work with, the people who are around us. So that was my major motivation to empower people, not only women, but empower human beings. So it's like more around human empowerment, to be more precise.
No, that's great. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, we actually have to look into different levels as well. I think every time that we look into empowerment, we have to look at the situation also, I think, because in different countries, the cultures are also very different.
Yes.
Shaza has asked this question: what role do media and social platforms play in shaping narrative on women's empowerment?
A very beautiful question, and I definitely want to touch this point because we are in the era where social media plays such a significant role in our lives. My idea, or the way I work with social media, is that, you see, the best part about social media is that you will get to see what they push, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or any platform. If you start watching things, if you start paying attention or spending time on a certain kind of content, it starts pushing that to you to see again and again. And I would recommend, and this is exactly what I do, that I only watch the content that is relevant to my values and to the work that I do. So, what happens is that we all have our Facebooks, we all have our Instagram, we all have our social media platforms. Use them to tell people to share the power of women, what we can do as women, instead of bringing the narrative of someone who is helpless. So it all depends on us. The more we write, the more we speak on social media about the empowerment or the power that we have, we will be empowering others.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. But some people have used social media as a platform to belittle people. I've also
Yes,
noticed that.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. And then, but well, let's not see. Even today, I mean, I know when I post, I'm regular. I post regularly on social media reels, and I write a lot. There are people who would come and comment. So as I said, like I give you example of lion and deer. Those people who are belittling me, I have nothing to do with them. I'm
Yes,
not
that's good.
I'm not there to answer them, because
Mm.
if they have they I don't have to get to that level. So if you are posting something which you value, you should own it. Don't get into any virtual kind of arguments or answering back or all that. Don't waste your energy there, because those people will never understand. They only wrote because they did not understand you.
Yeah, that's really true. Um, this is somebody. I think Pepe. I like this question. He says, Pepe says, how can we help people in rural areas who doesn't have education on women empowerment? Since in my country most of the women are circumcised, or what do we need to do in this action? I mean, this is something interesting.
Yes. So I would definitely see. I also come from a country which is not very supportive for women empowerment. We still, if you go to our villages, education, women are not even allowed to take education. Women are not allowed to do businesses, or but we I also come from the same part of the world, and I fully understand what you are saying. It's not easy. The feudal lords or the politicians or the country itself is not supporting us, but we as individuals, we have our roles to play. My idea or my suggestion would be that you start reaching out to people outside your own community, bring them in, uh, connect with social workers across the globe, tell them what is happening, because now we have the power of social media. The more people will know, the more people will come to help you, to guide you, and then we can start a movement with that. Having said that, I know the biggest problem is that the challenges would be retaliation coming from your own community, because I know that very well. I come from this almost similar circumstances from my country as well. So the thing is that even if it is coming, but if you have grown your network or you're speaking, you will be able to educate people and help them. Have I lost you?
Sorry, there was a
That's
internet issue. Apologies. Okay. Yes, I'm so sorry about it. Yeah, thank you. That was really something that Pepe brought up something that really touched me. I was in a women's international conference, and there were many women who actually, and some of our students also mentioned that they go through this culture in their in their place of where they are staying, and some of them actually fought their way to not getting, not doing the culture that they've been brought up, and because of that they were shunned away from the society, and
yes.
that's very sad. That's really sad. Something that I think people. I mean, we are talking about education and the quality of education. That should be one thing that we should be taught, our rights of to say no when there's a time to say no.
Yes, and then in those part of the world, or those villages or those towns where education to women is not easily accessible, speaking for your rights becomes more difficult. So, as I said, that reach out to organizations outside your community, go at global level, and you have the power of social media. Start talking about it, start educating, bring awareness. I mean, if you know that this is happening, connect to organizations across the globe, and there are many organizations that would be readily available to help you in terms of bringing awareness and taking it to the next level.
Hmm. That's great. Yeah. I think, yeah, you need to actually look at the community. NGOs are doing it actually. A lot of
Yes.
non-profit organization. I'm actually with this women's group, which I've been with them for the past 20 years, and we actually do a lot from empowering women. Also, we're not just talking about women. We also talk about helping children as well, because I
Yes.
think by empowering women and children, they are the next generation at the end of the day, especially
For
for
sure.
children. Um, Jovin Tai has mentioned, as a woman, how can we build our confidence when we want to voice out our feelings? I think this is something quite personal. Would you like to talk
This
about
is,
voicing
yes,
out?
yes, definitely, definitely. Jovan, you have a beautiful question, and I am so happy that you brought this. And it's like a very sensitive question, too. Let me answer that. Um, we should not hold back our feelings. Don't stay in denial. Don't think, see, when I was in an abusive relationship, um, 12 years of marriage, and I was in denial in the sense that I thought that this cannot happen to me. The man and his family, I've done so much for them. And, but if I say anything to them today, if I talk about how I feel dishonored or disrespected, I'll be thrown out of the house. That's what I
Mm,
felt. But when it started happening, when my children were at stake, that's the point. That's where I stood up that no, this is not happening. I'm not going to give this world to ugly men. I'm going to give this world to beautiful men who would love humans, who would respect humans. So, and it only happened when I was able to speak for myself. So, your feelings, if even if it's a no for something, you want to say no to something, say it. Even if you want to say yes to something or you like something, speak up. Don't hold yourself. Nothing will happen. The sky will not shatter. The grounds will not. There won't be an earthquake if you share your feelings. But be prepared emotionally. Be strong. That okay. If I say my feelings, the probability is that the other person may or may not understand. But speaking your feelings will give you the confidence to make other person or people around you realize your importance, that you are a human. At some point they will understand, so don't hold yourself back. Seriously, whether I mean any good or bad feelings, just speak up, just share. Nothing will go wrong, trust me, nothing goes wrong.
okay, I think we're almost done with our session today, and let me conclude. And I've got lots more beautiful questions, but unfortunately, we are ending with time. Time is a constraint.
Yes. So I think, Cynthia, I would love to answer the questions. You can email me and I'll answer each and every question. Trust me. And then you can share with the group, like whoever
Okay.
question. So I
Yeah.
can do that for all of you because you all took time for me to listen to me. And you all are amazing people. I'm so thankful to APU for bringing me on this platform, Cynthia, Nicholas for managing everything for us, streaming this so without any problems. So thank you so much, everyone. And then Cynthia, again, at any point, if your students, the listeners, they reach out to you and they need any kind of help, any kind of answers to their questions, their challenges, concerns, please reach out to me. You have my email address and phone number too.
Yes, I will. I will. I'm actually now trying to screenshot some of the questions so that it'll be easier for me to get back to you on this. In the meantime, let us thank. I would like to come to a close of today's session, inspiring session. We want to extend our deepest gratitude to all of you for being here, for listening and engaging in this meaningful conversation. I think some of you have asked very interesting
Beautiful.
questions, and I really look forward to more questions. But unfortunately, because of time constraint, and classes. Of course, some of you all are having classes. Okay, so yeah, together we have explored the triumphs and challenges of women rising beyond boundary, and we hope you're walking away feeling empowered and ready to take action in your own life. A massive thank you again for a wonderful speaker, Ms. Nageen Riffat, for sharing her wisdom and passion with us. Your journey and insights remind us that every challenge is an opportunity to rise, and every triumph is a step towards breaking new boundaries. Let's end with a quote that perfectly captures the essence of today's talk. There's no limit to what we as women can accomplish. Michelle Obama. Remember, the journey towards empowerment and equality starts with each of us. Let's continue to support, uplift, inspire one another as we rise beyond boundaries together. Thank you all for joining, and we look forward to seeing all of you in our next Sustainable Future Fusion event on Webinar 5, which is on empowering voices leading inclusion and sustainability on 3rd of December 2024. Stay inspired and stay empowered. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.